audio doesn't seem to be there from the game. Set output to desktop. There we go.
Round one, fight! You win! Round two, fight!
Alright, let's see how this looks. Not bad. So, now the chat, I can pop the chat out, hopefully. Moderator, don't need to do that. Let's go to the channel. And doesn't so let's see if they Alright. Let's forget about that. X out of there. And if we go back to the dashboard. Enable live chat. Not that anyone's going to be on, but actually, the chat deal open the chat in another window. That would be useful. So basically, I am well, I should probably do that. And if I minimize this, could, in theory, watch the chat as I play if anyone is there, which they won't be. Clip that. Okay.
Fight! You win!
Alright, so doesn't look horrible.
USSR! Round one, fight!
Well, if anyone is watching, thanks for watching. Just experimenting a little bit with YouTube game streaming.
You win! Round two, fight!
Also experimenting, as it were, with the Sega Saturn Fight Stick, which I picked up years ago, and not great. Oh, I see. So, I seem like I made a mistake. I paused... Well, I don't know. What fight am I on now? If you're watching, am I... Have I just beaten Zangief, or have I just beaten Guile? Because I pressed pause...
Jamaica!
on my little stream box here on YouTube, and it seems to be behind. So this is odd. Seems like I'm fighting Zangief now. Yeah, fighting games on the Saturn are a lot of fun. And, well, I'm totally out of sync. guessing this doesn't look great on YouTube, and let me know how it looks. I'm getting a lot of lag, but that's mostly due to my streaming setup, which is subpar for Twitch-type games. You need a lot of movement. Oh, damn it. I was hitting with that fireball. Ah.
You lose. Round 2.
Alright, I realize my commentary is totally out of sync. So I will let this fight finish. I'll actually play the second game on this disc, and I will switch to the gamepad. See how that works out. Okay. Let's try to do this. Okay, now it seems to be caught up a little bit. I'll do that. Alright, now on this disc, this is the Capcom Street Fighter Collection for the Saturn, one of my favorite Saturn games. We're just going to reset it and boot into the Super Street Fighter 2 X mode, which I've never actually played. I'm not sure how it's different. And hopefully the quality is fair. I always have trouble with stream on Twitch every now and then, but it never seems to work flawlessly. Well, you know how the audio is too. Sometimes I feel like the game audio might be too loud. My voice isn't loud enough. But I think it's cool that YouTube is actually getting into the streaming business here. See what kind of benefit, if any, they offer. Oh, cool. Uncharted is a series that I have rarely played. I never got into it. Never was a fan of the Indiana Jones sort of mythology. I think I played number 2 for a bit. Alright, arcade mode. Alright, so this game gives me a speed select. I'll do the same characters. I think this was the Japanese tournament edition. I'll be someone other than Ken. Go with the Honda.
England.
Let's see. And,
Round 1.
alright. Maybe some different costume options. Well, I haven't played as the Honda in a long time. So that's the headbutt, charging headbutt. Always hated Cammy. Ah, darn it.
You lose.
Maybe this game's a little bit harder. I'm finding
2. Fight.
that... Yeah, I'm just... I don't know if I'm dropping frames for people who are watching, but certainly... Son of a bitch. There we go. I'm just experiencing a lot of lag. Not really sure how I would capture
Fight.
the Saturn lag-free, but I'm not really here to show off my Street Fighter skills, which are just mediocre. Just here to relax a little bit on my vacation and stream some games. Oh, son of a... There we go.
You win.
So what have you been up to recently, Jam and Jim? You were one of my earliest subscribers and a pretty cool guy. I see you there on PSN. Sometimes I'm not a big online player, but not sure what you were playing last. Maybe Batman? Oh, thanks. No frame rate dropping. That's good to know. Already I'm liking this better than Twitch.
One. Fight.
Just spamming these two moves. I thought E Honda had a, like, bonsai butt smash thing. I think that was probably a down 2 seconds up plus kick move. We've been able to pull that off.
You win. Round 2. Fight.
Son of a... Never been good at these charge characters in Street Fighter. But if I don't switch it up, I'll just play as Ken all night. Favorite video game character. There we go.
You win.
Boy, switching back to the Saturn gamepad, I mean, this has to be the best gamepad for fighting games. I always feel like I'm losing something if I don't have an arcade stick, but this is about as good as it gets.
Round 1. Fight.
There's some lag. Let's try this attack. There we go. I'm not really sure how to be effective with those down-up charge moves.
Round 2. Fight. You win.
Oh, you like that, the parody video? Yeah, I'll tell you what, I just got, it seems like every personality, quote-unquote, that I follow is doing this Patreon thing, and they all have that same, argument. Everyone asked me to do it, all my fans, I didn't want to do it, but they're asking me, it's just like, I need to criticize this, and I thought a little parody would do that. But yeah, I think that's the most disingenuous point. A lot of these guys say that, well, I'm going to make YouTube my full-time commitment. And what they don't say is I'm going to make YouTube my full-time job, but just for that reason, what is a full-time commitment? Does that mean they're going to not go to the movies with their wives a couple times a week or a couple times a month and just do YouTube? I mean, I don't think anyone would, give up there. And a lot of these guys seem to be pretty well off, these big-time gamers, so I don't think they're quitting their jobs. But yeah, I had fun doing that video. But you don't have to worry, I will not actually do a Patreon. go.
You win.
Alright, getting a little bit farther with E Honda than I thought.
UFA.
Some loading times here in this
Round
game.
1. Fight.
Ah, my favorite stage music in all of Street Fighter. The Guile stage. Probably where I'm going to fall apart, because I just feel like you need projectiles to take on Guile. Well, you know, I guess to do the t-shirt, I need to have a in-joke from the channel that I repeat constantly. You know, all these guys have them. The All Gen Gamers have the whale thing, and you know, what are those two podcasters from the West Coast? SNES or NES Punk. He's got the Danny Sullivan Indie Heat, so I don't have one yet. Maybe it'll be, you know, 36,000 gross. I could do that. Getting destroyed by Guile. I have to switch back to a Fireball character to take him on. That was embarrassing. Let's see. I'll play a few more matches here, and then I'll switch to Disc 2 of this collection, which actually has Alpha 2, at least. Maybe Alpha as well. Alright. I'll go with Sagat. So do you guys know how long YouTube's been doing game streaming? I only know that it's available because I saw the GameSack gentleman do it. And figured, why not? Got me with hang on. Hope it's not lagging for you guys. I am, like, in slow motion here.
You lose. Round 2. Fight.
Ah. Oh, come on.
You lose.
Oh, really? Yeah, I mean, I knew guys did, like, Google Hangout stuff. I didn't realize you could stream games. I had heard they were... Oh, thanks, Steven. I mean, I'm getting destroyed, but, you know, I'm playing to relax, as it were. I'm not a great Street Fighter player by any means. Alright. Play as Blanca. Like I said, I hope the quality is not terrible. I'm using what amounts to about a $15 capture device for camcorders to do this, albeit S-video. And I've never done fighting games, or at least 2D fighting games. Oh man, I've done RPGs, sort of crazy Japanese-style games, but it seems like it's not ideal for this fast action. But I just had an urge to play this compilation. One of my favorite Street Fighter compilations. And I'm not sure that it ever came to the States. I know they did Alpha and Alpha 2 on the Saturn. I got at least one. There we go. Oh man. I realize my quasi-cursing here and saying, oh man, is not exactly the greatest use of airtime, but Street Fighter brings it out of you. Yeah, I'm using a Samsung Meteor mic. Not Samsung, but Samsung. And it tends to be pretty good. Same mic I use in the videos. Alright, I'm going to move on to the Alpha disc. Just have to grab that. Where is it? Let's see what Alpha games are on here. Testing my Japanese. Seems like it's only Street Fighter Alpha 02. So the collection is Super Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2 X, which is what we were doing. My Japanese is not good enough to figure out what distinguishes X, but anyway. Always thought Street Fighter Alpha looked really, really good on the Saturn. Didn't have a Saturn back in the day, but a friend of mine did. And he either rented or bought Alpha, Street Fighter Alpha, and I just thought it looked incredible. So, boot this up. I'll tell you what, it's a nice change of pace from Twitch. I haven't streamed on Twitch in a good month and a half to 2 months now. But usually, Twitch is, they have such ingrained audiences for certain streamers that you hardly ever get anyone watching. So it's kind of feels like insanity. You're just talking to yourself. It's cool that you guys are able to join me for a little bit, actually have a conversation. Alright, see if I can, see if my luck improves with Alpha or 02. Just forget the Japanese version is 0. Love the intro to this game. Yeah. I don't know if you guys were around when this game came out in the arcades, but I just remember being in total, shock of how good this looked. I know it was, 02 was available definitely for the SNES, but it just, nothing compared in my mind to the Saturn. And the anime art style on this game was kind of a revelation back then, at least to me. Alright, well, we have to try Goki mode. They have Goki mode here. Survival. I guess Goki is Akuma. Start off with the regular arcade. The only downfall of this disc, as I said, are the loading times. The loading times, pretty rough. I don't know what auto mode is. Let's try that at some point. Turbo, I'll go with, I'm just gonna go normal. That'll improve my lag issue. You were around, Steven, you remember when Alpha, or Alpha 2 hit the arcades? And SNES was your first console. That is a great first console. I want to say I got my SNES console in 95 as well. And if you, it's a long story, it's in my SNES versus Genesis video. But I was stuck with the Genesis, which is not a bad thing, for most of my youth. So I think in 95 I finally got my money together, finally saved up and got an SNES. And it was a blast. Earthbound came out that year for the SNES. I believe Donkey Kong Country 2. Oh, this is not so difficult. See if I can do the super. Atari. Yeah, you know, it's funny. I was way too young to really play the Atari with any kind of discernment, but I do recall a friend had it. It was probably in the mid to late 80s, and this was before I had ever gotten my NES. And I don't want to insult you, Steven, if you're a big Atari fan, but I couldn't get into it. There was something like, it just didn't seem fun. I guess this is because I had played arcade games, and just, you know, Atari looked so dated compared to that stuff. But it was a console that, you know, I love video games, but it didn't really sell me on the concept of video games until I played the NES. Yeah, the NES. I thought I said SNES, but yeah, playing Super Mario for the first time, that sold me. I think these people that had the Atari, they had Pac-Man, Frogger, and Pitfall. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Pac-Man on the Atari had some issue. Like, it wasn't very good compared to the arcade. So this is why I shouldn't pick Ken. I'm not really learning anything here. I just always gravitated towards Ken. And then, oh, you're not a big fan? It was just one of the firsts. Yeah. No, I totally missed out on the, what was it, the 5200 and the 7800. Like, no one had those, and you know, I just didn't even think to ask for them, or I don't even remember reading about them. One of my favorite Street Fighter stages. Ah, yes, Super Mario World. That was, I'm trying to remember, you know, I don't remember the ending of that game. Maybe I didn't, I must have beaten it at some point. But, was it, I'm getting that confused with the Game Boy game, but wasn't there a point in that game where you went into, like, sort of a moon world, or is that Mario Land 2 on the Game Boy? It's one of my favorite Mario games of all time. But I remember seeing Super Mario World right after launch in a store called Bradley's, and my jaw dropped, and I don't know what the release price of the SNES was, maybe $200 or something, but yeah, maybe I didn't beat it. Well, what was the last stage, the last world? Because there was a secret, right? You had there was like a secret stage. What was that secret stage? Well, I know the ending to Mario Land 2 on the Game Boy was that you unlocked Wario's castle, and that was the first time you were introduced to him, I think, in Nintendo history. I love that game. That was great. I actually played it the other night on my original Game Boy. Yeah, I seen that always stuck in my head for some reason. But there was a moon level in the Game Boy version as well, or the Mario Land 2 on the Game Boy. But anyway, when I saw Mario World, just that sold me instantly on the SNES. Great game. Also love Pilot Wings. For whatever reason, I thought that was just a wonderful launch title. Not a lot of people like that one. Neighbor had it, and he didn't quite understand it, or he wasn't very good at it, but we just sat down one night and went through it, and I had a blast getting all the licenses, the combat helicopter, final stage, and then of course that game had a special mode where everything was more difficult, and weather effects and stuff at the end. That was tough. That was legitimately difficult. Oh yeah, the Mode 7 cart thing for Bowser. I do have a memory of that, now that you mention it. That was one of the SNES's more impressive graphical feats, was rendering that. Oh, that's how you do the special move. There we go. Alright. Wonder what Ken is saying there. Wonder if we actually got the official translation. Ooh, the final fight stage. I love the fact that they included Final Fight characters in Street Fighter. I remember Guy being particularly difficult. I'll be cheap and use the throw. Ah. There we go. Skipping school. Playing Street Fighter and Samurai Showdown. I thought the Happy Console Gamer had a whole deal where he skipped school. I never did that. Then again, there were not many arcades near where I live. Maybe if there were, I would have given that a shot. And that was probably a great time to actually go and play those games, because I would imagine the arcades were fairly empty. Samurai Showdown was a really, really impressive game, too. I remember as a kid, my parents would take me down to Atlantic City, New Jersey. Now, of course, as a kid, there's nothing to do in Atlantic City, New Jersey. But in one of the casinos, they had this big arcade, and it was either on free play or it was cheap, or you got a card or something. And anyway, I was the only person in there, and they had rows of Neo Geo machines. That's where I first discovered Samurai Showdown. Or maybe it was Samurai Showdown 2 at that time, but that was just awesome. Hard, I remember as a kid. I thought it was harder than Street Fighter, but then again, maybe I was just sort of focusing on the Street Fighter control scheme. This is one of my favorite stages in all of Street Fighter, with one of my least favorite characters. I could not stand, and I still can't stand, Sakura. I went for the block. Nice. Still alive. There we go. Love the kid in the background playing his video games. Great music. Capcom at the height of its artistic mastery, I think. This one. Oh. Hit me with the super. So I can goad her in. No, probably just wasted. Alright, now I can be cheap and do the throw. She's gonna block low. Ah. The latest Street Fighter movie, I was not aware that there was a new Street Fighter movie. I just remember the one with, not that I even saw it to the end, but the one with Jean-Claude Van Damme, which looked pretty bad. But is this the anime, or did they actually do another live-action movie? I'd be curious to look into it. Straight to DVD, okay. Was it American or is it Japanese? I'm gonna get my ass kicked here, by the way. There you go. Just friggin' hated Bison, Vega, whatever they call them. Especially this version of him, the teleports and the sort of crazy teleport hand attack. Ah. I was lucky there. Cool. I'll have to look into that. Is it streaming, or... Oh, you said it was straight to DVD, so I guess it's not on Netflix or anything. So used to watching everything online these days. Oh. Well, there's my special. Ah. Hey, look at that. Alright, now I am really in for it, because Akuma... Oh, it's Ryu's the last one, maybe. Interesting. Well, I always find it difficult to fight your kind of clone character. Excuse me.
Round one, fight!
Oh, I love this stage. Yeah, I'm gonna look for it. Go on Amazon later, see what's going on. Ah. God, Ryu is such a pain in the ass. Cancels my super with a weak dragon punch, and I'm dead. Yeah, I miss the arcades too. You know, it was funny, where probably, I would say maybe a couple miles away from me, they actually opened a retro arcade. Well, retro, an arcade is by definition retro, but, you know, it wasn't even a barcade, it was just kind of a play-by-the-hour retro place, and they actually had a little living room set up that kind of went through the entire history of console gaming. So you started with, like, the Atari living room, and then you went all the way up to, like, Xbox One and PS4. But the roof collapsed, and the place is now abandoned. They claim they're coming back, but I doubt it. Excuse me, guys. I'm recovering from a little cold, so apologies for the odd cough. Now, Rolento is a character that I've never actually played, or at least in this one. Street Fighter 4, I've played as Rolento. Alright, so he's a quarter circle character. Pretty cool. Yeah, you know, I've been to my fair share of barcades, and the problem I have with a lot of them is that their goal is to make money off of the drinks. And so a lot of them, not all of them, but at least the ones that I've been to, have had a lot of, like, maintenance issues with the machines. I mean, some of them hadn't been serviced, you know, since the 80s, and some of them didn't work. So, like, you know, they want to make money off of their $6 craft beers, whereas I think these pay-by-the-hour arcades are kind of a nicer answer, but they have to be in the right area. You know, they have to be in a town, you know, that will support them, and I would imagine that there are not many towns that can do that. Alright, so Rolento, not a bad character. Finding something out new every time I play Street Fighter.
Ready? Round one, fight!
Cool. Starting to like Rolento. This is also really good stage music. Oh, Stevens, it's cold by you? That's interesting. Pretty nice weather. Pretty nice weather where I am, here on the East Coast. I'm doing it. What am I doing here?
Round one, fight!
Again, another character I don't think I've ever played as. Should give that a shot at some point. And he wasn't the guy who was like Ryu's trainer. Winning? Well, maybe the normal difficulty on this particular game is not so bad. But I've always found Super Street Fighter to be probably the most difficult Street Fighter game. Alright. Let's see, what other Saturn fighting games do I have? Oh, now I'm up against Ken. Interesting. I have King of Fighters 95, although I have to find the memory card for that, because it won't even work with the Action Replay memory card. I think there's like... And I know I have it, I just have to find it. Could do Last Bronx. Oh, I also have the first Marvel vs. Capcom game for this. Let's give that a try. I only played that briefly, and I remember not really liking it. Much prefer the... Actually, it's not the first Marvel vs. Capcom. It was the Marvel Superheroes game without the Capcom characters. Didn't think it was as convincing as X-Men Children of the Atom, which was an awesome game. We'll go to that one after this fight, which is... Oh, that's the one special. Well. Alright, let's go grab Marvel Superheroes and give that a shot. Now, if I remember correctly, Marvel Superheroes had a similar gem system to what they did in Tekken versus Street Fighter versus Tekken. Something about collecting certain colored gems to enable certain moves. Gears of War. Am I a Gears of War fan? I played Gears of War 2 on the 360. You know, it is an important game, I think, because it got that stealth mechanic down so beautifully, but I wasn't... You know, I didn't go back to play Gears of War 1, and I didn't play Gears of War 3, and I think that's the last one, or was there a Gears of War 4? You know, I getting tired of the whole sort of crazy military shooter stuff, but I actually found myself more into, as far as like a third-person shooter anyway, with that first-person mode, more into, what was that game called? Mars, the Red Faction game on Mars. That had that, it was kind of a combination of Gears of War and GTA, and I just thought it kind of succeeded on all levels. Very hard. I'm not going to be here. I'm usually Magneto. I'll be Wolverine. So, Steve, seeing as, you know, we seem to be maybe around the same age, do you remember when Marvel was not cool? Like, I remember growing up, and, you know, not a lot of people were into comic books. It was, you know, a niche thing. There was that crappy Captain America movie. I mean... To think that Marvel has become this billion-dollar movie property and everyone is into Marvel characters is just funny to me. I mean, I remember being ridiculed for watching the X-Men cartoon series. Gears Judgment. Okay, so they're going to do Gears 4. I think they announced that at E3 this year. Now, you see, what I'm not understanding here, you know, mechanically this game is not bad, but what is the space gem supposed to do for me? Or him? I guess in a way it's kind of a logical move that Marvel has become so popular because, you know, so many backstories and, you know, story arcs and everything that they can pursue in movie format. They don't have to hire decent writers. It's all been put down for us. But the idea that, like, you know, I can go to the movies with my girlfriend who's a fair bit older than me, and you know, she's into all these Marvel movies, you know, hard to believe. Steve, you know what I want to ask you? I think in one of your comments too, you mentioned that your son has a channel and that I should check him out, and then a younger guy wrote to me, his name was something Shinobi, Retro Shinobi, and I clicked on some of his videos and he was talking about collecting with his dad. Is that your son, or is that someone else? He had some pretty nice videos, actually, and he had a great Street Fighter shirt on in one of them. The stage select screen from Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, I think. Alright, man, these load times. Oh, pretty cool, it's the Danger Room? Oh, Stark Enterprises. This is, Iron Man. Alright, come on. Oh, nice. It's nice that you can share the hobby. I don't have any kids myself, but I'd imagine that's a lot of fun. And I think it's great that, you know, we're passing that down to the younger kids. I was at the Too Many Games convention, not this year, but last year. I was surprised at how many, you know, younger kids were into retro gaming. Yeah, he has a nice channel. I just checked out the most recent video. Was it, I guess, about the go-to games that you guys have? It was pretty nice. And I like the vlog format. You know, I don't think you need to have these super produced videos to, you know, really contribute to the community. You know, you don't always need, you know, even to do capture. You know, you can see it from my channel. I just like, you know, chatting and starting a conversation and seeing what the community has to say. And I'm happy that we have, you know, channels that are still doing that. And, you know, it's not all, you know, this game chaser or angry video game nerd stuff. Which, you know, those guys have a place, but I just feel like, you know, that shouldn't take over, that it should still be, you know, a forum for discussion first and foremost. You sold off your collection, and then he got into it. Well, you know, what can you do? But, you know, it gives you guys something to do. I mean, especially if you live in a part of the country where flea markets are still decent, and I know they're probably not great anywhere, but people on the West Coast seem to have better luck in, you know, with flea markets. Yeah, it's something to do on a nice Saturday in the spring and summer. Super armor. See, this is not really sure how to initiate these gem moves. Blackheart. Now, Blackheart is a character I have no recollection of in any of the comic books. But I wasn't a huge comic book fan. Okay, I just used a gem move. Alright. Whoa. There we go. Yeah, okay, so in Illinois, garage sales are still going strong. I live out in the tri-state area here on the East Coast, and there's nothing. Garage sales are, you know, they exist, but no one has any video games. Flea markets aren't huge, but yeah, everything's eBay priced now, and you have the sharks, and the guys are going out and buying everything up. You know, it's funny, I was thinking about this the other night. A lot of people complain about, like, going to flea markets or going to game stores and everything's eBay priced. But I don't know how we can fight that. Like, if you're selling a rare game, you know, if the market is accepting an eBay price, why would you charge anything less, even if you don't have the overhead? Like, even people on Craigslist, you know, the problem with people on Craigslist is they sell junk and they're trying to get, like, top dollar for Madden 2003, and they just don't understand the market. But, you know, let's say you had, I don't know, what's reasonably rare game. Musha or something. That's probably going for like... I don't know what Musha's going for these days. Say for argument's sake, the average eBay sale is $200. Why would you charge any less? Like, in a way, I can't blame some of these sellers who are selling quality stuff and they're trying to get eBay prices. It sucks, but like I don't know what else you would do in their position. I mean, there's still deals to be had. I will say that. I got a couple really good Genesis deals this summer on eBay. I got Phantasy Star 2, 3, and 4, all complete in box and all in really good condition for $100 and shipped. And I thought, you know, that I couldn't pass that up. That was a good price. And I think Phantasy Star 4 complete in box is at least $70. And probably the others, you know, $20 on 3, and $40 maybe on 2. So that was good. And I recently, what else did I get? I got another good deal on Genesis things. Oh, this weekend, got a complete in box Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. And that's getting real expensive. A lot of people are asking $80 to $100 for it. Guy was asking $85, and I bid $60, and I think he had $5 shipping, and he gave it to me for $65, which, you know, that's expensive for a game that a lot of people think is just average. I actually think it's one of the better Genesis games, and it was certainly nostalgic. You know, nothing to me brings back that 80s feel than playing Michael Jackson's Moonwalker on the Genesis. It's got that, and I'm not a Michael Jackson fan, but that soundtrack, those tracks that I remember playing a lot in the 80s, and just, you know, that feel of like, oh my god, you know, we have another, you know, we have a new console, like another console to play besides the NES. It just takes me back to that time, so that to me is worth $60. It's another nice track here. And I also picked up a complete in box Shining Force, which I just got that right at the eBay average price, which is like $40. But, you know, it was funny. I picked that up last night. I was with a friend of mine who's a big-time baseball card collector and an absolute eBay addict. And, you know, I said, hey, look, you know, I'm kind of interested in this Shining Force. It's $16 with 10 minutes to go. And I said, yeah, I'm just going to bid like 22 and see if I can get it. It's like, 22, you got to bid 40. And sure enough, it was exactly 40. Wanting eBay price from something. Yeah, eBay fees are insane. I mean, but and they're just gonna, and people are always gonna try to pass that on to the seller. On the other hand, like if you want, say for example, Shining Force. So, you know, if someone Googles it and looks on eBay and says, oh, Shining Force is going for $40, I guess it's human nature that they're not going to ask less than that, even though they may, you know that a lot of that has to do with recouping the eBay fees. But, I mean, I think the golden age is over, you know, as I understand it. The guys who were doing the retro collecting in the mid-2000s, like they, and even before, you know, they scooped up the nice deals. I just don't think we're going to see that again unless there's a total crash in the retro market, which I'm not sure it's going to happen. I mean, the prices, there's like this slow, steady increase. Well, that's true too. Condition does have a lot to do with price. And what irritates me on eBay is the people asking top dollar for games that look like they were vomited up by their dogs. I mean, I've gotten some absolute, just terrible condition games on eBay earlier on in my collecting. Like, I remember getting Final Fantasy X in, quote, new condition, and I got it, it was just caked in dirt. So, that pisses me off. I will say that. And since that point, my goal in collecting is to get the nicest condition possible. Doesn't always work out, especially if you really want to play a game. And sometimes you'll get, you know, less than stellar condition just to give it a shot if it's a super expensive game. But for the most part, I like complete in box, you know, good quality instruction manuals. Oh, this is getting cheap. Well, this stage design in this game is pretty nice. Give them that. I think the gameplay is slowed down compared to, say, Alpha 2 and Super Street Fighter. And I still have no idea what I'm supposed to do with these claws, other than these gems. Other than they seem to be triggered with the same inputs as super moves in Alpha 2. Yeah, Jam and Jim and Call of Duty, like, I was on Craigslist. I do check it from time to time. Someone was selling like Call of Duty 2 for $40. It's just, you know, that game was so mass produced. You know, why would anyone pay $40 for it? Or the people selling like their PS2 collection, 30 games, and every game is like SingStar, Dance, whatever it is, Dance Revolution, and, you know, all the EA Sports games from 2006. You know, you're not going to get $150 for that. Ask, you know, $30, $40 for the hardware, and be done with it. So my best pickup, just out in the wilds, was my Sega Master System, which I got from an older guy. You know, he was moving. It was his son's. He hadn't used it in, well, probably since his son lived with him. God knows how long ago. And he just pulled out this huge box. He saved it for me. I had to drive a bit to find him and get it. And it was a Master System, 2 controllers, 3D glasses, which were broken but still work. What else? There was something else. Couple games, maybe? Like, just loose games. Not Outrun. What was there was like a 2-for-1 pack. It was Astro something, a vertical shooter, and then Hang On. And that, you know, and he charged me $10. It was great. Working condition, you know, cleaned it up a little bit. Can't beat it for $10. Alright, lost to Dr. Doom. Kind of feel like picking another character here. I'm not sure I want to continue with Wolverine. Captain America. Oh, gotta start here. I'll go back to Doctor Doom. Interesting. I'm gonna figure out. I think I'll do one more game. Not sure which. I'll stick with the fighting game theme. Don't have any other 2D fighters that'll work without those RAM cards, which I cannot find. Do a Fighters Mega Mix. Could do that. Do Last Bronx. Virtua Fighter Kids. So I'd love to get some of the other Capcom fighters for the Saturn. They had Marvel Superheroes vs. Capcom. Super expensive. Japan only. I guess they have like... what is that series called here? Like Dark Savior. Japan. It is called... I'm losing it, but it's the game with like Morrigan and Stalkers. Dark Stalkers, maybe? I guess those aren't that expensive. I could pick those up. But yeah, this game's not as bad as I remember. Ah, now I have to fight Wolverine. I think I actually had a comic book where Captain America and Wolverine squared off. And in my youthful naivete, I thought, oh, I have to hang on to this. This will be worth money someday. When will Captain America and Wolverine ever battle? And it was worth about 4 cents when I decided to check 4 or 5 years ago. Probably should not have given him that opening with the aggressive stars and stripes. So I'd ask you, what do you guys think? What is your opinion on streaming emulators? Because since I'm off for a couple days this week, I figured, let me give this YouTube streaming a try. And I really wanted to stream some Sega, some SNES, TurboGrafx. Problem is, the capture card that I actually have to do that is broken. So it would just be easier for me to stream emulated games. But I don't know if that kills the authenticity. I know some streamers say that everything I stream is direct off the console. And I probably won't be able to, I don't think I'm going to invest in another capture card just yet, because I don't really stream enough to do that. But I wanted to sort of go through the TurboGrafx library. Ah, damn it. I guess there is no standard special move. There we go. Alright, I know what I'm going to play next. A game that... it's a fighting game that I also remember not liking, and that is Fighting Vipers. I'm just going to go grab that. Fighting Vipers. Oh, it's good to know, Steve. You have a problem with emulators? Yeah, I just find... Oops. I find they simplify the streaming process in the sense that there's no lag, and things like Genesis. I just have these issues. Like if I try to stream directly off the Genesis, it's in black and white. So, plus I think it allows you to have a more synthetic overview of your collection, and you don't have to get up and grab the card and blow on it and stuff like that. I know that adds to the authenticity. But yeah, I may come on and do some TurboGrafx stuff, just because that console, that console's actually broken. I have a PC Engine that I bought actually real cheap. And sort of a stack of Japanese games, but I'm not going to buy a US TurboGrafx. I had one as a kid. I had to give it away. I just don't want to throw good money after bad. So yeah, I might do that. There's some fun Japanese gems. Anyway, Fighting Vipers is the only Virtua Fighter clone that I didn't like. I just didn't feel that it captured the brilliance of Virtua Fighter 2 on this system. It seems to be much faster. Yeah, the TurboGrafx, when now that my system is broken, I'm forced to play them with an emulator called Magic Engine, and these guys did a terrific job with Magic Engine on the PC. PC Magic Engine. You can play all the ROMs for the Hue cards, but the CD games, you could not actually load a CD image. They wanted to keep it pure, I guess, like that, so you have to own the CDs. I got a number of Super CD games too. Oh man, pay attention to what I'm doing here. Yeah, I'm not really sure how to use the weapons. I guess the deal is you have armor, and you can target certain parts of the armor. There's a charge move. Yeah, see, to me, this game doesn't look as buttery smooth as Virtua Fighter 2. Virtua Fighter 2 on the Saturn was actually one of the better 3D games, period, of its time. You see, like, when you strike, you have that, like, little pixelated smoke cloud thing. Like, that to me is poor. That's a Genesis visual that I wouldn't expect for the Saturn era. Virtua Fighter 2 did not have anything like that. Like, that was on the level of Mario 64 as far as the clean 3D visuals. Now, obviously, Mario 64 was a much larger, game, but... That's probably one of the best pickups for the Saturn because it is dirt cheap. Absolutely dirt cheap, Virtua Fighter 2.
Round one. Let the action begin. Go!
Alright, so there are weapons. Not really sure. There we go. Of course, if you ever played Last Bronx, that game had the best weapon mechanics for a Virtua Fighter game.
Round two. Go!
Alright. I have to figure out here on YouTube is like, does YouTube archive these like Steam? Because I would like to go back and actually see what my sound is like, you know, as a viewer, see what the video quality is like. I know you guys are saying it's good, but yeah, definitely we'll do it again, Steve. It's a pleasure. Like I said, I'll be on, I don't know, maybe, I hate to give exact times, because sometimes I can't hold to them, but you know, between tomorrow, Wednesday, I'll be back doing some TurboGrafx streaming. Cool, thank you. Really nice getting to know you these past couple days. And good luck to your son with the YouTube channel. Oh no, my RAM card is loose.
Go! Round three. Go!
Take care.
Round one. Let the action begin. Go! Round two. Go! Round three. Go!
Ah. This guy is a pain in the ass. Alright. Yeah, this...
Round one. Let the action begin.
Like some repeat levels. This game is not I think I was right about this one. Not as appealing, although some people love fighting Vipers. I don't get it. Now, this is some really bad clipping. Ooh, this is very poor visual for the Saturn. Come on. Oh, guitar hit. Come on. This girl's like Pei from Virtua Fighter 2. Blocks everything. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to call it a night on this one as well. I appreciate you guys for the chat and coming in and talking some retro games. I seem to be having an issue with my RAM card anyway. So, yeah, like I said, I'll be back maybe tomorrow, possibly Wednesday as well. And we'll play some TurboGrafx, and we'll see what other of my actual systems I can get hooked up here. Maybe do some GameCube or N64. So take care, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.